Phil's Guitar Reviews. Now, you could be forgiven for thinking that I'm playing a Fender Stratocaster. It says Fender on the headstock and it looks like a Stratocaster. Well, actually, it is a Stratocaster. It is a Fender Stratocaster. It's made in the USA. It's known as the two-knob. And I think the reason for that is because it has a volume and a tone control knob, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's just have a little look round first and then we'll explain a little bit more. This particular one is from 1983. 1983. Maple fingerboard, maple neck. Gorgeous. I love the colour. I love this colour. Anyway, coming back again. Standard Stratocaster headstock. These were made with decals, decals, you know, these things. Some of them were a silvery colour, some of them were black. And obviously you can see this one's silver. While we're up here, got a couple of string trees. The string trees are very useful, of course, because they pull the higher strings down, which gives us more of a break angle, which helps to prevent buzzing. But this guitar does have some buzzy problems, and I'm going to go into that in a minute. On the back, we've got the traditional, well, these are Fender labelled. Some of them just had an F on them. These are Fender labelled. They work reasonably well. They could probably do with a bit of lubrication, I guess, if you can get some lubrication in there. Not a lot of room, but you know. Anyway, nice standard, what you'd expect from a Stratocaster headstock. The neck is a shallow C profile, and it's almost a bit of a V, slightly V tapered as it gets down towards the body. It's got the skunk stripe, which of course contains the truss rod for adjustment of the neck. That's in there. And reasonably chunky frets. These are in quite good order. There's a little bit of fret wear. I will come back to the frets in a moment. Let me just say something about that nut. Standard nut, usually plastic or something nylon-y or plastic, it's been cut too deep. And that's creating some buzzy sounds. And the reason I can tell it's too deep is by pressing on the 3rd fret, there should be some clearance here at the 1st fret, and there's none at all. It's been cut too deep, it needs a replacement, or some big fat strings that sit higher up. Right, let's come back again. Usual dot position markers there, black in this case, and they're also complementary on the side of the neck. Body, absolutely traditional Strat body, except for, you will notice, there is no back plate here. We're going to say a little bit about that in a minute. Otherwise, it's very, very typical Strat. Lovely contoured body, beautiful. What looks like it could be ash, I'm guessing. You may want to correct me, I'm sure you will. While we're on the back, let's just have a look at this neck plate. It's a 4-bolt neck plate, but you'll see just here, there's a hole, and that hole is for you to be able to make some adjustments to the tilt of the fingerboard or the neck. Imagine the position it's in now, and you needed or wanted to bring the fingerboard closer to the strings by tilting the neck like this. Then you can do it by means of this little screw in here, little key in there that you can make that neck go up or down very, very slightly. Now, we've got here the standard 3 pickups that you'd expect on a Stratocaster. A different bridge, I'll say a little bit about bridge in a minute, but we've got just 2 knobs. That's why it's called a 2-knob. It's a big departure from the standard where we have a normal volume and then 2 tone. This one is for the volume and this is for the tone overall. We have the 5-position selector switch as per usual. However, in the case of this particular model, unlike standard Stratocasters, when the selector is away from the strings, in standard Stratocasters you can't alter the tone On this one you can. So it's quite a different beast really. You'll also notice there's a different type of jack input here. This one goes straight through the plate rather than at an angle, which you'd expect on most traditional standard Stratocasters. Now, let's just have a look at the bridge. This is quite a departure from the norm, and I understand from what I've read that it created quite a lot of problems for the people at Fender when they were going through the design process. It is said to not be very reliable in terms of holding intonation because there's a tendency for it to move. You'll see from the pictures coming up right now that inside there are 3 springs that taper towards a plate on which is the earth cable. It's got different saddles as well. These are these L-shaped saddles, cast saddles, which are adjustable up and down, and of course from the back if you want to go backwards and forwards. One thing I would say about this, which is not particularly good, is the strings just sit into a very, very shallow slot, and when you're restringing the guitar, as I have just done, it tends to, the strings tend to pull out very easily. So it could be a bit deeper, I think, but anyway, there we are. So let's see, what does it sound like? I'm going to start with the 5-way selector switch up towards the neck, and with the tone control fully anti-clockwise, which I would expect to give us a little bit more of a bassy sound, and then we'll go around to the opposite side. So we're staying on this switch here, on this position first of all, and the knob is anti-clockwise. Here we go. Okay, let's turn the rotary control knob all the way around now, fully clockwise, to give us a bit more of a treble-y sound. Okay, moving the 5-way selector switch down one position, now have the rotary control knob for tone fully anti-clockwise again on the first position away from the strings. Let's turn the rotary control knob all the way around now fully clockwise for a more treble sound. Okay, move down to the mid position of the 5 options that we've got, and with the rotary control for tone fully anti-clockwise. So we're in the middle position with that selector switch now. Rotary control now for tone, fully clockwise, centre position for the 5-way selector. Okay, let's move down now to the 4th position and rotary tone control anti-clockwise for a more bassy sound. Now let's turn that tone control all the way around clockwise for more treble. Now then, selector switch all the way away from the strings, rotary tone control for anti-clockwise for more bassy sound. Here we go. And now let's turn that rotary tone control all the way around, fully clockwise. So what's the verdict? Well, if you can take your focus away from the fact that it looks like a Fender Stratocaster everywhere but down here, then it's not a Fender Stratocaster, is it? It's a body shape of a Stratocaster. It's got the pickup configurations, but everything else departs from there. The bridge is not like a standard Stratocaster. The 5-way selector switch doesn't have the same tonal range or indeed characteristics as the standard Stratocaster. We've got the individual volume control, but we don't have the tonal variation in the same way. Similarly, for those people who like a nice trebly, easy selection by pushing the selector switch away from the strings on a standard Stratocaster, on this one you get tonal variety. Now, is that a bad thing? No, it's different. It's different. The only thing I would say about this guitar that I feel particularly critical about is this bridge setup. It's not great. really needs a better string end capture system than just the narrow slot that there is there for the string ball end, just to be a little bit more secure, I would think. And it's neither a strap bridge nor anything else really. It just feels a little bit cobbled together and not particularly satisfactory. Otherwise, body-wise is great. The wood's beautiful, the colouring's great. The fact that it's got the tilt adjuster on the neck is useful. The fingerboard and the neck feel really nice. I like the way that it seems to almost taper down from a C shape to almost a very, very subtle V. There's a little bit of a prominent area here, just where the skunk stripe is. Needs the nut sorting out, but otherwise a nice guitar. Quite collectible because of the fact that it's so unusual, and it will suit some players who don't mind departing from the traditional Stratocaster. So yeah, overall a nice guitar. I enjoyed it. Now, I've always asked you to subscribe. The reason is the channel grows when you subscribe. It costs you nothing, no catches, no twists, no nothing. The channel grows. The reason I do this is because I just love guitars, and I love sharing all these other guitars that people have so kindly allowed me to review. So if you subscribe, it just helps to get the channel out there, and we get more people to know about us, and we can just share the love of guitars. So thank you again for watching Michael's Guitar Reviews. If you'd like to look at any of the other reviews, if you're interested in restringing, for example, or setting up necks, then check out the other reviews. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of them on the channel now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.